Vineyards play a prominent role in the first and third readings this afternoon. And when I was thinking about how the owner in the first reading from Isaiah did all the right things, but the vineyard produced wild grapes, my mind kind of wandered in a different direction. Did you hear about the owner of a baseball team who did all the right things, paid lots of money for pitchers and hitters, and they only produced wild grapes? But reflecting in that direction only led to frustration, so I went back to the vineyards. The readings have to do with growing things, but in the first reading it's really an allegory for the growth of people, how people develop and really are faithful to the Word. In Isaiah, you can almost hear the frustration in God's voice, if that's the right word to use. It's something like you and I might do if we have bought the seedlings and watered it, even put Miracle-Gro in it, and nothing happens. You just want to throw it out. And basically that's what God is saying to the chosen people. I'm just going to do away with the vineyard. One point that we might take from the readings today, especially that first one from Isaiah, is to look at our own lives, our own growth and development, or lack thereof, and make whatever adjustments we need to do so that we might not produce wild grapes, but good grapes. 3 directives for growth and development were developed by a very famous Canadian Jesuit by the name of Bernard Lonergan. He was a great writer and author, but I once took a course from him, and it was the dullest thing you could ever have. You'd say, how can this guy be so brilliant and be such an awful teacher? Oh, I shouldn't say this, we're being videotaped today. No, I hope no Jesuits hear me today. But he would say you have to do 3 things to grow, to develop, to know. You have to first be attentive. Secondly, you have to be reflective. And third, you need to be decisive. The first encouragement is just to be attentive, to be aware, to be conscious of what we are doing for good or ill. How do I spend my time? What choices do I make? How do I react to various situations? That might seem to be simple, but it really isn't, because you and I, especially the older we get, seem to just be used to ourselves. We take it for granted that that's the way we are, and we're not even really attentive to the choices that we make. And oftentimes, any problems that arise is because of the other guy. It's not my issue, it's their issue. When we ought to be aware of my own impatience or irrational reactions, my jealousy, my laziness, my selfishness, they become so natural that I'm not attentive to them. Then Lonergan would say that we need to be reflective. We need to take that raw data and say, well, what does that really mean? What does it mean about me? What are the root causes for my negative actions? Am I basically so unsure about my own self-worth that I need to tear the other one down, thinking that that will build me up? And it's not healthy simply to look at the negatives in my life, but I also should look at the positive, what I do right, what values I do uphold, and to see how that fits into who I am. And finally, we need to be decisive. I can be attentive, I can be reflective. But if I don't do something in response, then I have been totally incomplete in my growth and development. If I'm aware of what I'm doing and how I need to change, that's how I grow. That's how I develop. That's how I might be more of a disciple of the Lord. As we return to the altar and are fed once more, let us pray that the Lord will give us the insight and the grace to be attentive, to be reflective, and to be decisive.